Hi students, welcome to HP Kapadia School. I am Nisha James. I am taking Biology Practical. Today we are going to do another 11th standard Biology Practical, that is plant classification. In the earlier video we learned about animal classification and today we will learn about plant classification. Just like animals, plants are also classified into different types, and it's starting from lower level to higher level. When it is moving from lower level to higher level, the complexities are increasing. So today I will explain you in detail what about the different categories of plant classification. So we are starting our practical 15, plant classification. So plants are classified into, the lowest group is algae. Okay, algae is the lowest plant kingdom, lowest group of the plant kingdom. Then it is moving to further higher level, that is bryophytes. You know that bryophytes are commonly called amphibians of plant kingdom. And then when we move to the next level, it is pteridophytes. Pteridophytes are the first terrestrial plants with vascular tissue system. Then the next higher level is gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are normally, they are not producing any flowers. They are mostly shrub-like. They have a single thick stem and they are producing mainly cones. And then the advanced form of plant kingdom, that is angiosperms. Angiosperms are flowering plants. They are further classified into monocots and dicots. Now I am going to show you each member of each group. Okay, so we will start our practical. So the first member I am showing is the algae. As I already told you that algae is the lowest group of the plant kingdom. The specimen I have taken is Oscillatoria. Oscillatoria is an aquatic algae. It consists of a filamentous body. The body is divided into number of partitions. Within each filament you can find nucleus. It is normally green in color. So now I will show you what about the diagram of the Oscillatoria. So this is the first member of our plant classification. This is algae. I already told you that in algae I have taken Oscillatoria. Oscillatoria is a filamentous algae. It is an aquatic form. It is normally green in color because its common name is blue-green algae. But why it is appearing pink? Due to the staining. The plant body is filamentous, that is divided into number of fragments, which are otherwise called trichome. And then it is undergoing asexual reproduction mainly by means of fragmentation. So what is fragmentation? When the plant body is divided into number of fragments under the influence of water current, from each fragment a new plant body is developing. So this is the method of reproduction in Oscillatoria. Okay, now we are moving to the next member. So this is the second member of plant classification. This is the thallus of Rixia. Rixia is coming under next category, that is bryophytes. As you know that bryophytes are commonly called amphibians of plant kingdom. Why? Because it needs both land and water to complete its life cycle. Its plant body is normally dichotomously branched. That means the plant body is divided into two elongated parts, and it is not differentiated into true leaf, stem and root-like structures. So this is a primitive type of plant, and during the time of reproduction, on the surface of the Rixia leaf, they are producing some cups. They are called gemme cups, from which the asexual reproduction is taking place. Okay, so that about the rhexia. So when any of the specimen can be kept in examination, so first what you have to do as a spotter, so you have to identify the specimen and you have to write the few characteristics of each specimen. Okay, so the diagram is very clear. The dichotomous structure also you can find. Okay, so in the middle region you can find there is a curvature and then two equal partitions. Okay. Now the third member of the plant kingdom classification is Pteridophyta. In Pteridophyta I have taken fern as the member. So this is the diagram of the fern. You know that pteridophytes are the first terrestrial plants with a well-developed vascular tissue system. It consists of xylem and also phloem. And then we can find pteridophytes normally in shady places. The leaves are normally serrated, so you can find that on the surface of the leaf it is not smooth. It consists of some cutting. That is the meaning the leaves are serrated. They are normally sporophytic. They are showing two types of generation, sporophytic generation and gametophytic generation. And both this generation will alternate with each other. Some of the plants are producing similar type of spores. They are called homospores, whereas some of them are producing two different types of spores. So what is the meaning of two different types of spores? The male spores will be smaller in size, the female spores will be bigger in size. That is called heterosporous type of development. In a typical example for this heterosporous is mainly Selaginella. So, in pteridophytes, in its life cycle, you can find both sporophytic generation and gametophytic generation, but the dominant phase is mainly sporophyte. Okay, so normally we can find the pteridophytes in a shady places where there is moisture content is there. They have a differentiated roots, leaves and also stems. The vascular tissue system like xylem and phloem is also present. Reproduction is mainly by sporophytes. Okay. Now we are moving to the next member, that is the gymnosperm. Gymnosperms, they are, you know that why the term gymnosperm has come. Gymnosperms means the plants with naked ovule. You can find this is one of the member of the gymnosperm. Its name is cycas. So here on the side you can find these are the ovules. The ovules are exposed. That is not covered by any seed coat. That's why the term is called gymnosperm has came into existence. Normally we can find gymnosperm in tropical areas. They have a thick single stem with a rosette of leaves. What is the meaning of rosette of leaves? On the tip of the stem you can find a bunch of leaves. The leaves consist of mainly sporophylls. What are sporophylls? Sporophylls. So this is the structure of a sporophyll. Sporophylls are normally bearing spores. It may be either megaspore or microspore. Megaspore are equivalent to female gametes. Microspores are equivalent to male gamete. So the structure, ये जो specimen है, this is the structure of a female megasporophyll. Why it is called megasporophyll? Because it is big in size. Now I am going to show you the Cycas microsporophyll. So this is the Cycas microsporophyll. Why it is micro? Because this is small in size. You can compare the size. Megasporophyll is having bigger size and microsporophyll is having smaller size. Megasporophyll is bearing female gametes and microsporophyll is bearing male gametes. So, in gymnosperm, the main generation is mainly sporophytic generation. But both sporophytic generation and also gametophytic generation will alternate with each other. They also consist of the vascular tissue system like xylem and phloem. But compared to angiosperm, it consists of some simple features. For example, in xylem, there is only in xylem you can find only simple structures, and in phloem also you can find simple structures. Okay, in xylem you can find mainly the tracheids, and in phloem you can find tracheids, and in phloem you can find seed cells. So these are simple type of vascular tissues. Okay, and that is responsible for conduction of food and water. Now we are moving to, so I think all of you understood what is the difference between megasporophyle and microsporophyle. The bigger one is megasporophyle. This is female gamete. It is female gametophyte, we can say. And then this is the microsporophyle, which is bearing the male spores or the male gametes. Okay. Now we are moving to angiosperm. Angiosperms are the highly advanced plant kingdom member. They are otherwise called flowering plants because they consist of a well differentiated flower. The flower is normally using for attracting pollinating agents. Now this angiosperms, उसका एक common member मैंने लिया है, that is sunflower. Sunflower is coming under the dicot group of angiosperms. As angiosperm is a bigger group, this is further divided into monocot and dicot. उसमें dicot का member है and the sunflower. So this is the diagram of the sunflower. Now what about the characters of this sunflower? You know that it is a shrub-like plant. The entire stem consists of some hairy outgrowth. It consists of alternate types of leaves. The flowers are normally showing capitulum inflorescence, which consists of ray florets and also disc floret. The central flowers are called disc floret, and the peripheral ones are called ray florets. They consist of taproot system. And within the leaves you can find reticulate venation. The flowers are normally pentamerous. So these are the characters of sunflower. Once again I am telling, they are shrub-like plants. The plant body is covered by hair-like outgrowth. They consist of taproot system, reticulate venation. The flowers are normally, solitary flowers. Example, capitulum inflorescence. In capitulum inflorescence, you can find two types of flowers. The central flowers are called disc floret, and the peripheral flowers, which are yellow in color, that is called mainly ray florets. And here in angiosperm, one of the most important characteristics is it is undergoing double fertilization. What is double fertilization? The fertilization that is occurring two times. One of the male gamete fuses with egg cell and other male gamete fuses with the central cell. That's why it is called double fertilization. So these are the details of plant classification. So this is one of the sure practical. Any one of the specimen can be kept. As a spotter, you have to identify it. Then you have to write a short note of each of the specimen. So that is our practical. Thank you.